Hello, it's Andrine, a Jewish American priestess, and I'm bringing you another Hebrunes reading today. Let's light up some candles. Today is the day that I'm recording this, is the day after the month of Av's most holy day, which is the 9th of Av. It's considered a day of mourning for the Jewish people, and we're mourning the destruction of the temples that have fallen in the past. And for me, I think a lot about the temples in our lives that are also burning, the temple of our planet and our society and our own bodies. And I'm thinking a lot about how those temples are often, subsumed to the idea of a building, and I don't agree with that. I think that we need to consider the temples that really impact us the most, of relationships and our government. In fact, all the different ways that we've lost something sacred. And so for Tisha B'Av, for me, it's a ritual of considering all the things in my life that are burning or have burned, and that both I need to let go of, and what is rising up out of those ashes. So today I'm going to do a reading. I'm going to do a Mogen David reading, which is the 6-pointed star with a centerpiece, to think about how we are going to rebuild after the destruction. How does our acceptance of what has been destroyed allow us to rise from the ashes like a phoenix, like the mythical Hebrew bird, the ziz, that burns up and then rises again. So to that end, we're going to do a 6-pointed star reading. I'm going to start by laying down the first 3 letters, and we'll read those, and then the second 3 letters, and then we'll end with one in the center. So let's just stir up and start the reading. At the top we have the letter Gimel. In the lower right we have the letter Ayin. And in the lower left we have the letter Het. Alright, so at the very top, this is the position. I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit here. Yeah. At the very top, the position of what is being sent to us from above. What divine guidance are we being given right now from the one who is above, if we think of the divine as something being higher than us? And we have the letter Gimel here, and the Gimel is the letter which means a camel or a foot. And the first thing it says to me is the thing we have to do is we have to get up and start. We have to go. Gimel is this camel or foot walking forward. So we're stepping forward. We're stepping forward in humility, because the Gimel is also looks like a nun with the letter Yud at its heel. So it's being propelled forward from a place of humility by the divine, Yud being the first letter of the divine name. So we are coming from a place of humility. We've been mourning. A lot of times that's seen as sitting in sackcloth and ashes. So we've been down, we've been in the dirt, really feeling our feelings and tears. And now it's time, from that place of humility, to use the divine seed, that divine propulsion, to lift us up and set us forward on a path. We're going to be walking forward towards something that brings about justice. Gimel is the letter that rules over the planet Jupiter in the sky, and Jupiter is the word tzedek, meaning justice in Hebrew. So we're walking toward justice. We're running toward justice, in fact. And Gimel is said to be the binary transformation of peace and evil. So there's something about moving from something that has been destructive or wicked towards something that is peaceful or more whole. And that's the first thing, that's the direction we're being given from the divine above. In the lower right corner, this is the position of what is it we are knowing, what is seen in the situation, what is clearly visible for us. And interestingly, that's the letter Ayin, which is the letter that means an eye. Ayin is the number 70 in Gematria, and it is the eye of the divine watching over you, but also your own eye being opened and being able to see. So in this position of what is seen is sight. We are seeing our way forward. We are being watched over by the divine. And because this is the number 70, it has this connotation of the 7 days of creation, which is a completion of a creative event. So even though Tisha B'Av is about destruction, there's also creation within destruction. Sometimes we need to burn the field for it to become fertile. So we can see our way forward, knowing that something that has been created is finished in a big way, because this is 7 times 10, 70. And Ayin is the foundation of laughter in the Sefer Yetzirah, the translation that I read. The foundation of laughter says to me, it's time to see what's come before, maybe laugh about it now that we can look back at it. I mean, it may be too soon, but there's something that we can see that will make us understand the humor in the situation or the way that we can move forward in joy. And I say that also because within a week we come upon the holiday of Tu B'Av, which is the holiday of love and joy. So we're stepping forward and we're seeing our way toward something out of this creative destruction toward laughter and joy. And what is unseen in our situation is this position in the reading. And we have the letter Chet. And Chet is the letter that begins the word Chai. Chai meaning life. And so what we're maybe not seeing is how much life there is in the situation. That there really is something that's bringing us life even in the midst of what we perceive as death. The destruction, the mourning that comes with death. We may not be seeing the life. It might be hidden underneath. Chet is also the letter that speaks to contracts and commitments. This is sometimes said to be a marriage canopy, a chuppah. Chuppah, which is a marriage, and generally, historically, marriages weren't about love. They were about contracts. They were about marrying land and power with each other. So a contract is implied with the Chet. It can be a contract between you and yourself, a contract between you and the divine, or a contract between you and another person. But there's some kind of covenant or contract that is also wrapped up in the Chet that brings about life. And it's the number 8 in Gematria, so it has this sensation of the infinity loop. So the infinite is also underlying all of this. The infinite that gives life, that gives us the ability to grasp our chaim, our life. Chet is also the first letter of the word choshek, meaning darkness. And it's important. It's an important word because it's the first word of Torah that begins with Chet. Darkness is part of life. The mourning period is a part of life. So what we're maybe not seeing is how that darkness is bringing about the life, like I said, and how we need to wrestle with our shadow self in order to find the life that is inherent in the situation. Let's pull out 3 more letters to fill in the rest of the star. At the bottom we have the Ein Sof, the blank. In the upper left we have Tet. And in the upper right we have Zayin. Okay, so at the very bottom, this is the position of what is supporting us. What's the root cause or the root of our situation? And we have the Ein Sof, which is the blank. And it's basically a blank piece of wood that is a substrate onto which all the other letters are carved. Ein Sof literally means without end. So it's that idea of the infinite. Again, with the infinity loop here in the Chet, this is the infinite before the infinite is even carved. This is what came before, the unendingness, the tohu vavohu, which is that kind of shadowy unformedness that comes before creation. And that's what's holding us, the primordial chaos, the deep. And inherent in that is the divine, the divinity that created all, or that was all before creation, is what's holding us. That we can rest in that. That despite destruction, despite the vagaries of life and the ups and downs and the life and death of all of it, underneath it all is the infinite. And that's the thing we can rely on, if nothing else, that at the end of time, all will go back to the one, and the one which is the nothing. So blankness is inherent in this, and it's important, and for me that's a comfort. I know it isn't for everyone initially, but if one can sit in the knowledge and the field that came before all, there's a peace there. And that's what's holding us together in this most difficult time, having come through a destruction. The infinite is here. It's always there. It's always been there. It always will be there. And that we are part of that. That we came also from that and will also return to this. In the upper left corner position in this reading is the position of what is our fear or challenge. And we have the letter Tet. Tet is the 9th letter, so we have 8 and then 9. 9 is the number of months of pregnancy in the human body. So this is a gestation period. Tet is said to be a container. It looks like a little bit like a cup, and it holds goodness within. Good, which is the word tov in Hebrew, begins with the letter Tet. So the challenge or fear we're having here is that we don't maybe know what's in the container. Also, 9 months is a long time to wait to find out. Also, is it good? We don't know if it's good. It maybe doesn't feel good right now. So our fear or challenge is to believe that good is here, that this gestation, although it may take some time, is going to be worth it. Whatever the transition period is, the rising from the ashes, may take a long time. And so we have to really trust in that, even though it's a fear or a challenge, and know that goodness is underneath this, that life is going to come out of all of this. The other thing I love about the Tet is that it looks a little bit like a snake. It's sometimes said to be a basket that was maybe holding a snake in it. And the snake is an ancient symbol of the goddess, the transformative aspect of divinity. You can see it looks a little bit like a snake with the head over there and the tail curling around. So the snake, although is scary, there's transformation here. There's something that's telling us the truth. There is something that is allowing us to shed our skin and get rid of that which no longer serves, the way we do with something that burns down. A lot of times temples need to burn. And so our fear or challenge here is maybe there's something that feels like a snake. It feels a little scary. It feels like it's taking a long time. It feels like we don't know whether there's good in it. But trust that there is. Because even though that fear or challenge is here, we also have a lot of infinity wrapped up in this. And the upper right corner, the position is, what is it that we need to do in order to bring this about? What is the outcome or the advice maybe that we have for us right now in this time? And this is the letter Zayin. Zayin is the number 7. So we have 7, 8, and 9 here, interestingly. 7 is the number of days of creation. It's the end of a completion cycle of creating the thing. It's also a sword or a scepter, so it speaks to sovereignty. And so what the Zayin says to me in this position is, grasp your own sovereignty. Understand that you are also made of divinity. Understand that you have power, even though it might not feel like it. when you're sitting in sackcloth and ashes. The power is here for you if you can just grab it. It's sense of completion, the sense of magic, all the tools available for you right now. It's also affiliated with the Shekhinah, the Shabbat bride, because on the Shabbat, on the seventh day, we welcome the Shabbat bride. Shabbat is a time of rest. It's a gift given to us by the divine. So while we grasp our sovereignty, grasp the concept of our sovereignty, it's also important to rest. So as we come into Shabbat, really sit with your concept of sovereignty. What is it that makes you a part of divinity? What is it that gives you the power to get up every day and move forward? It's that indwelling presence, the presence of the divine feminine, the Shekhinah, who's there with you through everything and gives you the power to move forward every day. So I really love that this is here telling us that's our way forward. I also forgot to mention that Tet is the letter that is affiliated with the month of Av. So this month of mourning is part of our challenge and our fear right now. Okay, I'm going to pull out one last letter that will be kind of the pulling it all together letter and see what we have. It's our final message for today. And we have the letter Shin. Beautiful. So the letter Shin, this is again the position of what is our outcome, what is the big picture message here. And the letter Shin is the letter that begins the word Shekhinah, the indwelling presence. It's the mother letter of fire. And it represents the summer and the year, which is where we are smack in the middle of the heat of the summer. It's about fire, sun, moon, stars, and just flame itself. You can see it looks a little bit like three flames licking up from beneath. And it has many letters in it. It has 3 yuds at the top and 4 vavs if you count the 3 coming down and the 1 across the bottom. And so we've got this sense of divine seeds being planted and connection to each other and to the divine itself. The Shin is, again, the indwelling presence of the divine feminine, the Shekhinah. The first letter of the word Shalom, meaning wholeness or peace. And also the first letter of the word Shinui, which means to change, to transform. Shuva, which means to return. So this idea of rising from the ashes, to return to the one, to change into something, to transform into something better. And Shin is also about the head and the body. And it's the heat in the head, so passion, inspiration, can be even anger. I mean, many of the stages of grief are wrapped up in the Shin. You know, passion in the form of sorrow and grief, but also passion in the form of anger. We can be angry at the things changing. We can be angry at loss and about destruction. And that's one of the motivators that we have to move us forward. But it's also the sun in the sky, the source energy that we have, and the stars that light our way at night, and even the moon, which reflects that sunlight. So bringing this all together, Shin is a beautiful outcome to this reading. We're in the middle of the heat. We're in the middle of the fire right now. The temples are burning. The destruction is happening. But underneath it all, the change, the transformation, the return, the one herself, the Shekhinah, the indwelling presence of the divine is here, holding us, holding it all together in this. Beautiful reading. So going back to cover our first step here, coming down from the divine, is to step forward into action. Get up from our humble place, being propelled forward by the Yud He Vav He, the becoming one that's telling us to get up and move forward now. That what we see right now is our ability to vision how things could look, to imagine the world to come, to know that we're watched over by the divine. At the end of this creation destruction that's happened here, see our way forward. What might be more challenging to see, the Chet, is that life is underneath this destruction, that there's life here, that even in the darkness, the divine is here, the infinite one, and that we have to make a commitment and a contract and a covenant with ourselves, with the divine, with another person perhaps, to move forward into grasping that life. Pinning the reading, underlying it all and holding it all together is the Ein Sof, the unknown. And it's challenging to not know, but the void is here to return to at all times, to come back to the wholeness of the emptiness of the one, of the zero, even before the one. Our fear or challenge this month, represented by the Tet, the snake that is scary but transforms, the womb space that is holding us, but we don't know whether it's going to produce goodness. That fear or challenge is there. And we just need to sit with that sometimes. We need to sit in that unknowingness. And our advice here is to grasp that sovereignty, rest in the divine, take that sacred rest and grasp our sovereignty within it. Know that we have a right to and a responsibility to rest, to take care of ourselves. And know that the summer, the heat, the fire is producing something, is bringing all of this together so that we can step forward out of the ashes. Know that the indwelling presence is within us. Look up to the sun, the moon, the stars. Find those seeds that are being planted and bringing it all together into the one, the Shekhinah, the indwelling presence, the peace, the wholeness of it all, the transformation, the change, the return. And that's our reading for today about coming up out of the ashes after Tisha B'Av and finding our way forward into the rest of this month. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I really enjoyed doing it, and I'll look forward to seeing you here next time. You can like and subscribe if you like below. See you soon.